Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Al-Fath Putra Armen, and now I'm going to present BBC Sound podcast. So this time I will present three podcasts. First is BBC Sounds You're Dead to Me, episode Atlantis. The second is BBC Sounds Inside Science, episode 200 years of dinosaurs science, and the last is BBC Sounds behind more or less behind the stats episode UK growth, prisons and swift tonomics. So let's start let's start from the first podcast. So the first podcast is BBC Sounds You're Dead to Me, episode Atlantis. In this podcast, this podcast discuss and explores the myth of Atlantis, which organized from the writings of the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. Although there is no other search from other philosopher, this that mention Atlantis. The story of Atlantis has inspired many stories and documentaries. The episode also highlights the myth of Atlantis has been used to support racist ideologies throughout history. So the main topic of this podcast is Atlantis was created by Plato and has no historical basis other than the writings. The story of Atlantis has been used in a variety of contents, including to support racist ideologies. And then okay, and then the interesting from this podcast is first Atlantis is only mentioned but in Plato's writings, so no other explanation from other philosopher. Second is the myth of Atlantis has been used by some racist ideologies to support claims of supremacy. Okay, then we move to the key terms and concepts in this podcast. That is Atlantis myth. So it means Atlantis myth means the idea of sunken advanced civilizations. Now we move to the idioms in use in the podcast. First is pie in the sky. It means unrealistic hope. And then the colloquial expressions lost to time. It means something forgotten over time. Okay, now we move to the second podcast, BBC Inside Science, 200 years of dinosaur science. So this episode uh, commemorates the 200th anniversary of the first scientific description of dinosaur Megasaurus by William Buckland in 1824. It delves into the evaluations of paleontology over 2 centuries, highlighting advancements in fossil excavations, classification, and our understanding of dinosaur biology and behavior. Then, so this podcast is about 200th anniversary of the first scientific dinosaurs, Megasaurus, and then uh, the main topic of this podcast is the significance of Megasaurus um, as the first scientific scientifically dis- described dinosaur. Then this podcast also discuss about advancements in paleontological techniques, including modern excavation and analysis methods. Next is the role of technology in preserving our understanding of dinosaurs, such as their relation to birds. And the last is the ongoing nature of paleontological research and the potential for new discoveries. So, the interesting from this, what the interesting from this topic is first, Megasaurus was the first dinosaurs to be scientifically described, marking the beginning of formal dinosaur studies. The second is modern paleontology utilize uh, advanced technologies such as CT scanning to study fossils remains in the greater details. The third is birds are considered the closest living relatives of dinosaurs, uh, providing insight into dinosaurs' behavior and psychology. Psychology. So, we move to the key terms in this podcast. First is paleontology. So, paleontology means the study of fossils and prehistoric life. And then the second is bone wars. It means the competitions between Charles Mars and Edward Drinker Cope. Okay, and we move to the expressions used in this podcast. I find the digging up the past. Yeah, digging up the past means literally and metaphorically uncovering history. Okay, so that is from BBC Inside Science, 200 years of dinosaurs uh, science. Now we move to the last podcast I watch. The last podcast I listened. BBC sounds more or less behind the stats podcast episode UK growth, prisons, and Swiftonomics. So these episodes um, discuss about uh, the UK economy is growing faster than Germany, France, and the US. and these claims by Minister Rishi Sunak. So, uh, uh, this podcast discuss about the recent drop in uh, net migration in the UK, and then this podcast discuss uh, the claims that Taylor Swift tour in the UK will generate a 1 billion sorry 1 billion euro 1 billion pounds economic boost. And then in this topic, the host and guest star have conversation that discuss of this issue of overcrowded prisons in the UK. And then we move to the key terms this podcast. First is Swiftonomics. Swiftonomics means a term describing the economic effects of Taylor Swift tours. The second is prisons population statistics. Yeah, this is about the data about the number of people in prisons. And the expression used in this podcast first is cooking the books. It means manipulating financial data. And then banging the drum. It means continuously promoting an idea. And the last is pulling numbers out of a hat. It means making up statistics. So everyone, maybe that's all from me today. That's all from me in this video. Uh, Based on my experience after listen to the three podcasts. Uh, Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.